Today, I want to talk to you about something that's really interesting, I think, about entrepreneurship. And this is it. Most people think that growth comes from strategy or from the next program or from learning another marketing technique. But to be honest, one of the biggest breakthroughs in my business didn't come from any of those things. It came from a room, and more specifically, from the people in that room. I just came back from the Costa Women Conference and retreat, and what happened there reminded me again how powerful the right network can be. Not networking in the traditional sense, but something deeper: connection, honesty, sisterhood. And in this video, I want to share at least three insights that came out of that experience because they changed the way I'm looking at my own business again. Now, let's have a talk about the conference itself. The conference itself was wonderful. But what stayed with me the most happened during the retreat afterwards. And the conference was a great start, but the retreat went even deeper. Now, when you spend 2 days together with a group of women who are all building something meaningful in their lives and businesses, something really shifts. I mean, the conversations go deeper, people stop performing, and instead of, polished stories, you hear the real stories. Stories about doubts, about blocks, about courage, about the moments where someone almost gave up. And there were several moments during those conversations where I felt deeply moved because, these women shared parts of their journey and they were vulnerable and incredibly honest. And, there were moments where someone told a story and suddenly the entire room became quiet because everyone recognized something of themselves in it. And that kind of connection is rare. And it reminded me of something really important because entrepreneurship can look very individual from the outside, but in reality, none of us grow alone. We grow because of the people around us. And there is this phrase that I often use with my clients. You can't read the label when you're inside the jar. When you're inside your own business every single day, your perspective becomes limited because you see your strengths less clearly, you miss the blind spots, and you repeat the same patterns in your thinking. And then someone asks a question that completely shifts your perspective. And that happened several times during the retreat. And not because anyone was trying to coach or fix someone else, but it was because thoughtful people exchange ideas and then clarity naturally appears. So sometimes a single conversation can unlock something that you've been struggling with for months. Another element that I really wanted to share are the stories, because those stories, they struck me during the conference, but also during the retreat, because they were stories about women who took bold steps, women who had changed direction in their careers, women who had trusted their intuition, even when it didn't make any sense to the outside world. And hearing those stories does something powerful. It reminds me of your own journey. And one of the exercises during the retreat reminded me of my own journey, where I got reminded of things that really matter and things that I absolutely love and don't and the things that I don't appreciate. So it's really a great reminder. Those stories are great reminders of our core being. It reminds you of the moments where you have to trust yourself. And it reminded me anyway, of the moment when I started my business in the first place and the values and principles that I hold dear. And this is what was really interesting to hear from other women, because behind every business, there is a deeper motivation, a desire to contribute, a desire to build something meaningful, a desire to live life on your own terms. And when you hear those stories from others, it reignites something inside yourself as well. And this is what happened for me. So, what happened as well? Another interesting insight that came up during the retreat was a presentation about masculine and feminine energy in business. And it had to do with clients and how they actually experience our work. So in business, very often, more often than not, I would say, we focus heavily on the masculine energy, on the structure, on the messaging, on the positioning, on the clear promises. And that is important. That is absolutely important. And what I realized was that the masculine messaging is often what attracts clients in the first place because it gives clarity. It's really clear, it's focused, it's like this is what you're going to get when you work with me. It shows people, it shows clients what problem you solve. But what I realized during those conversations, again, is that something else keeps my clients there. So the masculine energy brings in clients, but my feminine energy makes them stay. And it's the feminine energy of presence, of depth, of true and genuine interest and connection, and the ability to truly see someone and to see someone's potential and to call out on their BS when necessary. So masculine energy may bring clients in, but the feminine energy is what makes them stay. And when those two are in balance, something powerful happens in your business. And this is what I want for you too. So, what happened for me immediately after the retreat, there was this leveling up energy. And that fascinated me because within days, I found myself making decisions in my business that felt clearer and stronger, updating profiles, updating my messaging, updating my offers. And it wasn't because I learned something new, but it was because my perspective had changed. So those conversations, those people around me, those incredible women around me had sharpened my focus. And they helped me to see things that had been right in front of me all along. And this is the power of being around the right kind of people. So the right room, that's all I'm trying to say. The right room doesn't just inspire you, it accelerates your growth. And this is why I love to be a member of Costa Women. But I'm sure there are other networks for you out there who are just as powerful. So, the one word that kept coming up for me during the conference, during the retreat, was sisterhood. Not competition, not comparison, but genuine support, genuine interest, the ability and the willingness to help and support one another, and women celebrating each other's progress and loving to share insights, to reflect ideas, and to hold space for each other's next step. And honestly, I believe we need more of that in business because entrepreneurship can feel lonely at times. And especially when you're building something that doesn't necessarily follow the traditional path. But when you find a community of people who understand that journey, something changes, something shifts. You feel stronger, you feel more confident, and you feel more willing to step into that next level. So the conference and the retreat also sparked a thought for me and for my business because over the years, many of my clients have asked whether or not there could be a space where we explore how to apply human design in business together, like in a group, and not just readings or not just coaching, but with conversations about visibility, decisions, offers, pricing, energy, growth, networking, collaborations, etc. And that could be a place where you can share the good, the bad, and the ugly of entrepreneurship, but through the lens of human design. So I'm curious. A question. This is a question for you, and please let me know. Um, would you be interested in a community like that? If it resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Because I'm a generator and I need to respond, and hence the question. So I would love to hear from you, and mainly because sometimes the most powerful thing in business is simply finding the right room. And that's what I would love to create for you too. See you in the next video.